What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Meran podcast. Today, my guest is none other than Vincent Gagnier. Vincent is a longtime pro skier, X Games gold medalist, innovator, and incredibly creative skier. Vincent and I chatted about a lot of different subjects, ranging from his current movie project that he is working on with the Slush crew, to his multiple injuries ranging from breaking his back a couple years ago to having back-to-back knee injuries, and his opinions on the current state of competition skiing, ranging from being judged to acting as a judge on multiple occasions for him. It was great chatting with Vincent, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Here we go. Vince, what's up?
Not much. Just here in Montreal at your place.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
What's been up with you?
Nothing. Just getting by the summer. Long summer months without skiing, unfortunately, this year.
Yeah.
But almost there. Winter's coming, so I'm stoked now.
I saw on Instagram that you've been doing a lot of tramp.
Yeah, I have. What I can do, because if I jump too much on the tramp, then my whole body is like so wrecked for like a full week that I really have to like choose when I can jump. Because if I do it too much, then I can't. Like my back, my neck, everything just hurts so much for so long.
Oh, yeah. Is that because of injuries or just in general, tramp is like rough for your body?
A mix of both, I would say. For sure, rough on your body. And when I jump, I go all in. So,
yeah. So, you're not taking it easy when you're on the tramp.
No, it's all or nothing. Trying to be as good as I was like 8 years ago, but it's hard.
When you go on the tramp, is it more of like staying in shape and doing some exercise, or are you trying to learn tricks, like working on your air stance?
Working on the air stance, but it's most of how I see it is like a mental battle. Because like if I have a trick in mind, then I'm going to try everything I can to get that trick. And it can take me like 45 minutes to an hour or even longer just to get one trick. But I just have to go through every motion or like everything in my head and believe in myself. And once I get it, then I'm super relieved and happy.
Did you have one in mind this summer that you...
On the tramp?
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. There's some combos like, I don't know, like a left dub 10 to the... a dub 10 to the left into a dub 10 to the right, and then like a triple I tried. But I couldn't, unfortunately. But I tried until I couldn't walk after. So I gave it my all.
Damn. So combos on tramps must be hard because you kind of lose some power from trick to trick.
I think it's mostly hard because I don't have a gymnast base, so all my tricks, I'm never like fully centered on the trampoline because I'm not doing like a back full into another back full. It's more corks and bios and stuff. So it's harder to be super precise.
Yeah, I remember there were videos maybe 10 years ago or so that Tanner All would put up of like a back flip or double two, and he would get on his back and like do a bunch of them. And I don't know if he has a gymnast background, but he really seemed to have that on lock.
Yeah, he's really good at bed tricks, those are called, when you land on your back or your stomach. But that's like it's a really good base to have. If you can land on your back, then you can pretty much try anything and just go to your back for like a safety measure.
Yeah.
But the stomach thing, that's just crazy. I don't fuck with that.
you really need to do it well, or else your neck just hits and it's rough.
Yeah.
Sure. So you do a lot of tramp and you try a lot of things on tramp. What's your stance with the airbags and stuff like that versus trampoline to try new tricks?
For skiing?
Yeah.
Well, the airbag is for sure a lot more like skiing.
Yeah, but
the
I mean, like there's some installations like Maximize in Quebec.
Yeah.
Do you like to go there?
I have gone there this summer and last summer too, because I want to do new tricks, and I'm scared shitless of trying new tricks because I've gotten broke off a couple times because of skiing. So just trying to be safe. But like those places are good, but then it's all about the money at the end. You got to spend so much money just to go to those installations.
Yeah. You don't have free pass because you're a pro skier.
Don't get a free pass. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I could if I did some promotions or whatever, but I don't really want to be affiliated with that kind of niche, where you. But it's good because it's safe. But it's just, I don't know. There's some good and some bad with it.
Yeah, because seeing it for us that grew up in a different era when we're still young, but I remember friends of mine, because I wasn't at that level, but trying dubs in small mountains and talking to other guys. Basically, the goal was to go to Breck once a year, and that's where you would try your tricks, because it was not smart to try in Quebec. But now kids go to Maximize, and they have the whole ramp is perfectly set up as a big air. You have the airbag as a landing. It looks like, I don't know what's best between that or water ramps. I guess it depends what you like better.
The bag, hands down. The water ramps are the worst. Oh my God, like swimming with skis on and a life jacket makes no sense. It's the most unnatural thing there is.
Yeah, well,
I hated
for a while,
ramps.
it seems like it was the best thing to do, because it was the only available thing.
For sure.
It seems like everyone would go to Le Relais in the summer.
But dude, you would never hit a jump like a water ramp jump. It's the most unrealistic ski jump
I
ever.
remember going there with friends and just not doing it, because they would teach you the basics of like, okay, you're sideways, and when you want to go down, you hop at 90 degrees and then you just stay straight.
Yeah.
And I was seeing that and I was like, yeah, guys, I'm just going to sit this one out.
I'll stay on the trampolines instead. Yeah, that's what I did when I went there most of the time.
So did you do some water ramps or?
I did, like way back in the day. And then at one point when I was on the national team for slopestyle, they would have camps there at the water ramp.
Yeah.
And I would get forced to go and jump. And I did. Did not like it too much, but I did, and probably figured out a thing or two there. So there was some good.
But these days you don't go.
No, I would not go. No.
So you went this summer to Maximize.
Yeah.
Did you?
I went last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did last week.
Did you learn some stuff?
Yeah, I got some tricks.
You want to share, or
no?
We'll see when it's on snow.
We'll see in the video next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that. Because you already have a deep bag of tricks, but you're also really creative. So I'm curious to see what you have in mind.
I'm going for the aesthetics, just trying to make it look super nice.
Yeah.
Doing a technical trick that just looks good. That's my main goal.
Well, I think that's cool, because that's your personality, but also it fits well in these times where, like, have you seen the new faction edit they released?
I watched it once. Yeah.
It's a really cool edit that I've watched multiple times. Like, don't get me wrong, I love it, but what were your thoughts when you saw the Switch quad?
Wasn't too surprised, to be honest, just because that's kind of what I'm expecting from the new people, because they learn to do triples when they're 12 and 13. So what's the next step after the triple? It's the quad, of course.
Of course, mate.
Unfortunately, it shouldn't be like that. It should be more about, I don't know, making it your own and add extra to whatever you can. But,
I didn't think it would look that good. It like, he still made it look good in my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
for a quad,
it is crazy. But if you look at his landing,
it's not.
His knees would be done if he was a couple years older. Yeah, because that's not a way to land on a big jump.
Kind of almost a pizza landing with the that's
backseat knee twisted. That hurt me so much watching that.
That's an ACL waiting to happen,
or more than that. A little bit of everything.
But it's crazy because Sammy did his in 2010, and now it's 2020. So it still took 10 years to have the switch,
Yeah, Wacko kind of did one also in Jackson Wells in 2016, I think it was. Yeah, 2016. It was more of a wobble, less flippy, but...
Yeah, I think was it in at the Jossie Wells Big Air?
Yeah, in Cardrona, the big jump they have there.
And it was filmed?
Yeah, it was filmed.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember that one.
I mean, it was more spinny than flippy, but I don't know, that's almost cooler.
So does it get the claim in your mind, or?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say for this.
I mean, cork, maybe not flip, but cork.
Yeah.
Cork.
It's like when Sammy put out his video of the triple, but then Bobby did
the triple flat spin.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did the triple flat spin 2 months earlier, I think.
Then there's the thing of he's the first to release it, and then Bobby was kind of a triple.
Well, forward triple, switch triple.
Yeah.
That's two different tricks.
Yeah. It seems like there's not that much, competition of claims going on these days. For a while there were Red Bull videos every month of like the first one to land a triple 14, and every trick was like promoted as the first one, and now it seems like it kind of got away.
Those tricks have already gone viral, so are they going to try to go viral again with the same things?
Yeah, well, or is there new things to do, like in terms of...
I'm sure the kids nowadays are crazy. They'll find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it going to go more towards going back to the basics and just claim, hey, I've done a cork 7 that was actually...
We'll see. Hard to tell right now. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah. So what were you up to last season? We haven't talked in a while, and I'm curious to know what you've been up to.
So last season, I just wanted to not compete, like just put competitions to the side and try to focus on a video part, try to put all my efforts into filming for a project that really means a lot to me, because in my ski career I haven't had that part that I've dreamed my whole life of making and doing. So that was my main goal, and things were going pretty well, but then COVID happened, and kind of shortened the season for every one of us.
So now your plan is to do a 2-year part?
So now we're doing a 2-year project instead of 1 year, which I'm actually super stoked, because instead of doing one thing that's so-so or okay, then I really want to be proud with what I put out, and I don't know, just put something sick out. That's my main goal.
Yeah, because you've always had shots in movies through the years, whether it's Poor Boys, Level 1, Blank, but you never really got a full segment. Why is that?
I would say just because I tried to stay on the competition circuit, and just time.
The schedule?
Time, schedule, and if you don't have like the financing behind you to do all those things, it makes it way harder to travel left and right to shoot for a week there and then go to a contest. It just didn't really make sense for me financially when I think about it.
I think your most complete, or I don't know, one of your edits where you have the most shots is from 2014, where you have a Rockstar edit with your Poor Boys shots and stuff like that. But then again, looking back, I looked at it yesterday, and seeing it with kind of a filmmaker perspective, I saw it was like, okay, well, he went to one park shoot and went on one urban trip.
Yeah.
Because you had shots that were clearly from one urban trip, and then your park shots were from Heavenly, I think, but it was all the same park shoot.
Yeah.
But then that gave me a tease of wanting to see what you were up to this year or for the 2-year part, because if you got those shots in that short amount of time, I'm curious to see when you're dedicated what you can come up with.
Yeah, for sure. That was a quick trip too. Went to Minnesota with Poor Boys in 2014, and I don't know, probably only hit like 5 or 6 spots, but it was a lot of work. When I look back to it, it wasn't that great. There's only like one shot that I'm hyped on.
Which one?
On the water tower when I go up and then land screaming.
Same for me. That's the one that stood out.
Yeah, and the cool part about that is that I got it first try. So
the shot is you go up a tower, kind of.
Yeah.
You go up it, you jump, you do a scream and seaman, so crossing your skis, and you land switch with your skis crossed out.
Yeah, with my skis crossed, and I got it first try. So that
first try.
Yeah, first try.
And you were like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to.
I did it a second time for another angle, I think, and then that was a wrap for me on that one.
Those are the best.
Yeah, for sure. When things work out.
It's so many things can be a hassle filming urban when you can get those. It's like, and plus when it's a shot you're stoked on.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And plus this one is kind of never been done before. Urban is already complicated. People don't want to try and land scream and seaman.
Yeah, especially maybe more back then, because that was 6 years ago. But now you could see more of that, because young people who have good knees are willing to do that now more than ever.
But it's never something that caught on, really. At some point, Dom Laporte was doing a lot of caribous.
Yeah.
You do a lot of scream and seaman, but not a lot of people are into that weird shit.
Some people, but it is some weird shit because it can go bad, like really bad, real quick if you don't know what you're doing.
So, is 27-year-old Vincent still into those weird shit?
He can. He just has to be smart, but he can do it.
About the knees?
Yeah.
Damn. Can't wait to see those shots.
Yeah. We'll see.
Did you have some knee problems?
Yeah.
Through the years?
Yeah, two years in a row I hurt my knee. I got ACL surgery twice on my left knee, like pretty much exactly a year apart. I blew my knee, so that was.
What year was that?
January 2017. Blew it at X Games during practice, and then 2018 January blew my knee at X Games again in practice.
Wow.
And then that's been it for X Games for me since then.
So that's that must be rough, of like a mood killer.
Yeah, super rough.
Because basically, if you blow your knee in January, when did you get your first surgery?
The first one I got it in February, so I only had to wait like 3 weeks or so to get surgery. But the second one was trickier because a second knee surgery takes. I don't know, it's better to have a surgeon with more experience because it's more tricky having to go through a second knee surgery on the same knee. So I had to wait a little bit longer. I got surgery in April for that one, but I still got super lucky because the doctor, when I first saw him, told me that maybe it would take, in June I would get the surgery. So then I was like freaking out because I knew my next winter was in jeopardy. And
yeah.
But when I got the call that it was in April, I was like, okay, it's on. I'm going to be able to ski in December and start to feel normal again in January. Yeah.
So you basically got 2 years in a row of like from January 2017 to 2019 basically of not being able to ski, or
I mean, I wasn't at my...
As soon as you would get back in it, you'd be injured, kind of?
Yeah, it was rough for sure. And during that time, like, everyone just keeps getting better, and doing more stuff and having fun. And I'm at home doing pretty much nothing, just waiting to get surgery or rehabbing for it.
So what was your mentality at that point? Like, were you getting kind of depressed, or were you motivated to get back at it? What were you like?
Getting the knee injury the first time was rough because coming back from a new ligament surgery is so different from like a broken bone and all that. And I know like how a lot of skiers don't always come back from a knee surgery like that. So that was for sure in the back of my mind. But then I knew that I got back to where I was like super quick until I blew my knee again, but I was back like on my same level I was before. So the second time I blew my knee, at least I knew that I was going to get back to there. I just had to take more of my time in the rehab and just be extra focused.
So was your second injury kind of a bad luck, or was it something that about the rehab or about the first surgery?
I would say probably the rehab didn't. I mean, my legs were strong, but I had just bad tendencies with my knee. Like, my knees would go inward for like, I don't know, stupid reasons. Just didn't have the proper rehab. So the second time I hired a personal coach in Montreal who like knows so much about knees and rehabs and all that. And he really put me on a path to be back to where I should be.
Did you have some regrets of saying, oh, maybe I should have skipped X Games and like take it easy, or?
Yes, but at the same time, that was my main motivation was get back at X Games and do what I had in mind, but that just didn't happen.
Yeah, because that's basically what you do best is big air comps. That's where you had the most success.
And in competition, that's where I do my best, not in practice or in a regular day in the park. Yeah. Usually it's on contest day that I do the best.
Why do you think that is?
Just because I don't have a choice but to go for it. Because I'm a pussy.
Because some people get stressed out of like, it's totally different perspective, but I totally get what you're coming from. But there's also people that are like, it's too much pressure. You kind of get stressed out and you get stiff or whatever. But for you, it's just okay, well, you don't have a choice. You got to go.
Time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a point of, I don't know. It seems like Henrik is also like that of being juiced up when it's X Games, and he seems hyped up. I don't know him personally, but that's the feeling you get of watching him at X Games, of just being totally hyped.
I mean, when you're confident and you're not overthinking, everything will just come right where it should go, you know?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to overthink, or like, you just have to be in the moment and enjoy it. That's how I did it, and I think it helped me.
Is that what happens to you? Being in the X Game where you got to roll, there's someone waiting after you, and there's a TV show, so you can't overthink it. You just got to go and do.
Just got to go. Like, you know what you're going to do. You just have to do it. And if you have a last-second idea, then go for it.
Yeah.
Spontaneous.
'Cause I also look back. You won the silver medal in 2014 and the gold in 2015.
Yeah.
And I think it's in 2015 where the interviewer asks you at the end, how was it? And you say that you did 2 tricks that you had never done before.
Yeah.
That's a great example. You win gold at X Games, and it's with 2 tricks that you had never tried.
I mean, they weren't new, but...
It was variations.
Yeah, new variations. So they were first tries, for sure. Mm-hmm. And I'm still stoked on the first one with the safety. The dub 12, dub genie to safety is still one of the best tricks I've ever done. Like, it looks...
So one is genie to safety, and the other is
genie to octo, but I don't like the genie to octo too much. I think it looked kind of sloppy.
Yeah,
but
it's not the best octo,
but the safety one is like style.
Yeah, and plus you stomped the hell out of it.
Yeah, and the way it was filmed, it just made it look extra nice, I think.
Yeah,
with the big crane that they have on that jump.
And now it's time for a first sponsor break. Treefort Lifestyles is a company based out of Oregon. They've been involved in the ski industry since their inception in 2011 when they made their first pair of suspenders for skiing. They produce some of the nicest accessories you can find out there for your adventure activities, whether you're going skiing, hiking, or traveling. Plus, I've heard their famous suspenders are making a comeback this winter. Go check them out at treefortlifestyles.com and use code MERAN at checkout to get 15% off your order. Support companies that support skiing. Support Treefort Lifestyles. For a while, it seemed like, let's say 2008, 2009, is it possible that people didn't like the X Game Big Air Jump, like that they weren't building the best ones? And
yeah, they the first year that they had it back in 2008, I think, was just a really bad location. It was like a super long in run. Then you hope to have speed for that big jump that's like on I don't know where the hill is super flat.
Yeah,
and that's when Yoon won that one.
Oh, was it Simon with the double front?
That was on the last jump of the slopestyle course when they did it that year. That was 2009, I think. Anyways,
my point is, it seems like they got it together. That in the past couple of years, it's like a perfect jump.
They switched the jump to a way better location where they can have a super long and steep landing. And yeah, that jump is great. But at least the last time I hit that jump, it was so poppy. It like kind of reminded me of the water ramps, you know, that it's not like super realistic of a jump, but that's because they want to see those triple bombs and quad bombs getting thrown.
Is there a point when it's too poppy for you, for your liking?
I think so. Yeah, for sure. Just because if you do a trick, like let's say, for example, my Misties or my rodeos, bios, I generate so much pop with that trick that it just... I don't know, it makes it feel super weird. Like,
and plus, since your rotation on bios is more to the front, it must feel weird because the pop brings you to the back.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of going against the pop of the jump.
Yeah, for sure.
How does that feel?
I mean, it feels weird because you're depending on the trick, like just where I land on the landing, it can be so different time after time, just depending on my pop with that trick.
Because that's really a rotation that not a lot of people do. A lot of people spin more to the corks or more to the back. If you see a usual big air competitions, whether it's switch corks or front, regular corks, it's all to the back. Some people do some switch misties, but then again,
there was more variations than there were like 3-4 years ago, for sure now. Yeah. But there's for sure more corks set backwards than forward corks.
Yeah. Who's your favorites right now to watch in big airs?
I mean, Dolo will always be up there, but then Colby Stevenson doesn't really do the big airs, but I think his skiing is great.
He could.
Because his grabs are like on point. It's like near perfection every time he jumps. And I really like his trick selections.
Seems like him and Eyal are like the two, I don't know, on my side, they seem like the best skiers right now.
Yeah, they're on fire for sure. They're in full control of everything they do.
Like if I had to put money on someone for a slopestyle comp, it's basically the two of them.
Yeah, you'd be a smart better doing that.
Yeah, it seems like Colby, I noticed him first, Colby, in a stepped video maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah,
like,
10 and 2 he was in that one, I think.
And back then he was, unknown. Like that was the first time I would hear his name. And it kind of took a couple of years for him to get that X Games gold anyways, with injuries and stuff like that. But this year he really, last year also, but this year he won X Games.
Yeah, he killed it. He's really good. Well deserved for that guy. He's a natural style. That's what I love about him too. Because you can do a trick, but if it don't look proper, who cares?
Yeah, and that's a cool thing with these two is that they're incredibly good, but also they're stylish.
And they're pushing things forward too, which is really nice.
Yeah. Have you seen the new Magma movie?
The which one?
Magma.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, really good. Some really sick tricks.
When I see those, I have so much respect for them because basically it's the concept is that they do hand-built booters in the spring, kind of. Mm-hmm. And they do a short movie with the best footage that they can get. But looking at it, it reminds me of Urban, where each one of these jumps must take at least a full day to build. Like, there's a lot of hard work that goes into it.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of work. A lot of hiking, a lot of shoveling. But, I don't know, they made something good. They made something special together. Yeah. And I like the new one more than the first one, I would say. And
plus, there's something to say about Alex, where he already is in X Games and everything. He doesn't necessarily need to do that for sponsors or, he's already killing it. But then to want to put the time and effort into there, it's really cool to see.
Yeah. It's that extra stuff that makes a whole difference at the end.
Yeah, kind of like Henrik, of like competing but also wanting to do these extra things.
Yeah, it really separates yourself from your peers, at least the ones who are competing and just training for the next World Cup.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that exactly, of like skiing getting extra specialized? It seems like, I don't know, it's kind of beating a dead horse. It's a subject that's been talked about, but I really kind of noticed it in maybe the last 2 years that people are now calling themselves slopestyle skiers. And I've seen, looking through Instagram and stuff, seeing people that are, really good at what they do, but they don't really have sponsors. And I feel like it's a result of the specialization where you don't get a broad, I don't know how to say it. If there was a point where you would do big air and slopestyle and do a movie segment, then you're reaching a lot of people. But if you're only doing World Cups in one specific thing, curious to have your thoughts on that.
I mean, unfortunately, that's the evolution that ski competition has taken. All thanks to the FIS, the Federation of International Skiing, or whatever they're called. They just, I don't know, everything is just so structured, and it wasn't structured back in the day. Like, you had, like, to blow up, back in the day, to blow up, if you were a young skier, you would go to the contest, like the US Open, the Aspen Open, the European Open, and if you did somewhat good there, then your name would get out and people would know more about you. And if you made finals, then you could get a new sponsor, maybe film for a movie production later in the year. But all those are out the door now. They don't exist. Yeah. Because it's only World Cups, and no one really cares about World Cups other than your national ski body or like that.
There's a thing about, on my side as a viewer, as a fan of skiing, there's a thing about rarity, where X Game, when it happened once a year, there's something of like looking for an event. There's, let's say for football, there's only one Super Bowl. There's it's not like in hockey where you have to win, what is it, like 20 games to win the Stanley Cup.
No, 16 games.
Yeah, 16. 4 series of best of 7. It's long. You know, people get out of it. Whereas the Super Bowl, there's one
game.
But then there's that happens. It's like, oh, I won a World Cup. Well, I don't know. Which one? There's 30, you know?
Yeah.
When you talk about nowadays to get known, you have to do competitions. That's one thing that I noticed in Quebec back in the days. Every mountain or shops or brands would put out a rail jam, a slope style comp, but now there's none. And it's basically the trickle-down effect of everything is towards the goal of going to the Olympics. And for that, you need points. Yeah. So the event needs to be FIS associated. So then everybody gets out of it because basically when a mountain hosts a comp, it's like a private event. So it kind of pushed everyone away from supporting competitions.
They're just trying to make slopestyle like moguls. And that's so bad for the culture and the future of our sport.
Yeah.
At least for competitions, because I don't envy any kid right now trying to be a pro skier in contests. It's horrible.
Yeah, it must be hard because I see runs from kids that are unknown, and it's like runs that could win X Games a couple years ago. But it seems like it's not necessarily about putting a good run. It's about like working your way up through the competition ladder.
Yeah. And that takes time to go up the competition ladder that way. It takes a lot of money too, a lot of funding. You need rich parents that are willing to invest in you for something that probably will never get any return back because there's only 1% of the kids that are doing it that are going to make a living from skiing.
And a thing that I was thinking about recently was back in the days when edits were more popular. New schoolers had more, it seems like there were less people in new schoolers, a lot less.
A lot more people back in the day.
Yeah. Anyways, there's guys that got known with one edit. Wallish with Super Unknown. I remember Gus was an unknown and he did one edit that really got blown up, and that's where he started from. Jesper Chatter.
Yeah.
I remember he did an edit, I don't know, was it 2010, somewhere in those years, and you noticed him. You invited him to JY, and there were those edits that would start up, but it seems like no one does edits anymore.
I mean, the attention span of everyone has just shrunk so much because of social media, which sucks. It's just, there's still a place for edits, but for sure doesn't have the same reach that it once had.
Yeah.
Because now everything is just so spread out, Everyone's kind of doing their own thing and only caring about themselves and not, I don't know, the community or the whole crew.
What are your thoughts on that as someone who's really good on Instagram, but that also loves, the old school type of things like movies or edits?
I do what I can. I have I don't know, my archives of ski stuff is so low. I have nothing new to or nothing to post now, so I'm just trying to live by and post stuff that I think is okay, but I really need to get more content for the gram because filming for a movie project, I don't want to leak any of the stuff, I want to make it special at the end. So
yeah.
And since I almost didn't ski park last year, I have very little content from this past year. But trying to make the most I can with what I have from previous years before.
Is it something that crosses your mind of, you talk about not spoiling shots from the movie, but then again, you have something close to, is it 50,000 followers on Instagram, something like that?
Yeah, 50. I was at 50, but then it went down because the summer months, it's no good for followers on the ski scene.
Anyway, so 50,000 followers is a lot of people to see a shot, but then, there's kind of a hard thing of saying, a lot of people would see it, but then that's not the way you want people to see it on an Instagram post.
Not for... Once it will be released, then of course it can go on the gram, but I want it to be special, so I'm not going to leak stuff. I don't want to do like Tanner does.
You want to, yeah. That was kind of weird, right?
It's good, but for sure would have a different impact if he didn't leak those shots. But still, big ups to T. He's crazy.
Yeah, that shot is crazy.
Yeah.
the double backflip on a rainbow feature that, what is it, like he went maybe 30 feet high? Like he went really high.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's nuts.
37.
Yeah, just turned 37.
Doing a double backflip on an urban feature, landing basically to flat. What were your thoughts as someone who blew his knees 2 times seeing a shot like that?
I mean, he's blown his knees
exactly.
twice also, so he knows it all. But I mean, it's inspiring. That's the one thing.
Like, say you were at that spot that day, you're more of a front flip kind of guy.
Yeah.
Would have you done that? Of like that whole feature of to like, let's say front flip to flat on that stuff?
I don't know what I would have done, but for sure it wouldn't have been a double backflip. I can assure you that.
I guess my question is, urban for a while was about, doing dangerous stuff.
The big drops.
Big drops and going bigger every year. Think it has more chilled down in the recent years of, not killing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What's your approach? And let's say in your part that you're filming, what are you looking for in spots?
Just a nice mix and blend of everything. I think that's what I'm striving for, is just having something complete that, just super diverse, and just, I just wanted to be sick, have rails, have different kind of grinds. I don't want to just do the same old thing that we've seen, I want to
cover everything.
A little bit of everything, but then I'm down with just doing like a down rail or like a dup kink and just trying to find a way to do something we haven't really seen too much before.
So is it more towards the approach or the tricks? Like, do you have tricks in mind, or it's more of a...
It's a mix of both.
Yeah.
I think trick selection is crucial in like building something, because you want diversity. And at least in my part that I'm working on, I don't want things that look... I just want it to be me. So I'm going to try to push it as far as I can with my skills.
Yeah. Because I think it was... I heard Will Wesson talk about it, about how he has tricks in mind or a way to hit something. And then he's just like on a mission of finding
that
a
feature.
Good spot. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, there's definitely tricks that I would love to do, that I have a couple ideas of the features I could do it on. But now it's just a matter of knowing if it can work or not.
Are there features like that you've done last year? That you had in mind of something you wanted to do and you found the right feature?
Yeah, for sure. Two tricks come to mind. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Some funky stuff. And I needed to find a big tube, and I found it.
When I first heard of you when you were younger, you were really into like big tricks, like tech tricks. Seems
big
like
spins.
Yeah.
Grabbing mute and spinning.
And I remember like rail tricks from you were classic, like less funky tricks, but really hard tricks. And it seems as you got older, you went more into like creative, funky vibe. What was your state of mind last year and for this year? Are you more into doing a funky Vink part, or will we see some classic like?
Maybe a couple classic, but mostly me. I wanna be me.
Yeah.
That's who I am. I just do tricks a certain way. I want to be doing 50-50s on street rails and some one-footers and different entries, and just have something super well mixed together.
Cool. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I'm hyped. I can't wait for this winter to get started.
And now it's time for a second sponsor break. Axis Board Shop is a ski and snowboard shop based out of Saint-Sauveur, Quebec, Canada. They've been in business since 2002 and have supported skiing since day one. From sponsoring numerous athletes to putting on competitions to helping out movie productions, they've done it all. Axis is the core board shop, and they've got everything that you might need this season. Check them out at axisboutique.com or go check out their shop in Saint-Sauveur. Support companies that support skiing. Support Axis Board Shop. So you filmed urban last year. Before that, when was the last time you filmed some urban?
I did one spot in 2015 for the Blank movie in Italy.
In Italy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did a front flip out. Or nollie front flip out of like a flat rail.
That shot is so sick.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's like a flat rail to drop. What was it, like maybe a 20-foot drop?
Well, maybe 15. I have no idea.
Like a good drop.
Yeah.
and you do a front flip out of it.
Yeah.
That's so sick, and that's so you.
Yeah, that was fun. That worked out. That was a fun little line in Italy.
So were you guys like filming POW, and you were just like, hey, there's a nice rail at the hotel?
Yeah, we were there to film POW, but I think that day was either foggy or cloudy, and then we just stayed. Or we saw that there was a spot where we could do something, and yeah, that's where it happened.
You didn't have any problem of like getting kicked out?
No. It was like there was nothing going around there. It was super easy.
Yeah. It's rare that we see like urban spots from Italy or stuff like that.
I mean, street rails in Europe look way different than in North America. Or not Europe, I would say more the Alps, because I guess if you go to Sweden or Finland, it looks more like, it doesn't look like mountain towns, you know?
You can really recognize where it's from when you see it. Like, if you see a spot from the U.S., you know it's in the U.S., and same thing for, let's say, Finland. You know it's from Finland.
Yeah, same with Sweden. You know it's in Sweden.
Yeah.
And Quebec also. You just have to look at the French signs on the streets and all that.
And before that one shot in 2015, was that Hooligan the last time you really shot some urban?
Hooligan and that Poor Boys year for 2014. That was the same year that I did some streets there, but not so much still, but a little bit.
So for your upcoming project, you're doing a slush movie with the slush crew.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all going to do your own parts and put it together, or is there someone like directing that will, oversee everything?
I mean, yeah, it's all together, but all the parts are going to be released individually on YouTube. Kind of like how the slush cups are being released. So there's like going to be a part or two that's going to be released during the week, and then for like the festivals, we're going to put it all together and make a full project. But it's for it to be like every skier has like its own part. That's like the main goal with it, or at least for the most part. There's probably going to be a friend's part with a mashup of a bunch of people that helped along the project. But for the main skiers in the project, we really want to focus on our own individual parts.
Who is in it?
Who's in it? So, for now we got Josh Christensen, the slush boss. Then we got Quinn Wilferman, who's also a slush boss. We got Ferdinand Dahl, who's a Norwegian master of skiing. He's insanely good and has insane style. Just watch out for what he's got in store. And Colby Stevenson also, if he's not too busy, I'm hoping he'll get to film with us. ABM also got some shots, hoping to get more filming with him this winter. And is that it? Torrin also should be in it. I don't know, we got a good crew. For sure gonna make something good together.
It's a big cast. You have the potential to make something big.
That's what we want. We want to make a movie that, pays, or a movie that kind of looks like the old ski porn flicks that we used to watch, like the Poor Boys and Level 1. Like, what got us into free skiing. That's what we want to put out.
Yeah. And it seems like, especially with, every ski company has stopped doing movies in the past 10 years. From Poor Boys to Step, 4x9. At some point in Quebec, there used to be like 4 companies making movies. Now there's none.
Mm-hmm.
Level 1 stopped last year. Yeah. So I like seeing, content from one specific person, like a solo project drop. But it seems like now there's really there's an opening for projects like these because there's none.
There is none.
So I'm curious on, you've said you weren't competing last year. What's your stance right now on competing? Because you had a lot of success, like growing up in competitions. You peaked at having gold at X Games, which is basically the best you can do. Yeah. Then blown knee in 2017, blown knee in 2018. Where does Vincent in 2020 stand towards comp?
He would love to do comps, but the way comps are structured now, it's almost makes it impossible for me to make a comeback in competitions. Because all contests, there's no more invitational contests like at least X Games is like the only one, but to even get into X Games, you gotta like prove yourself on the World Cup circuit, let's say. And to be on the World Cup circuit, you need points, like you said earlier. And since I haven't competed in FIS events since 2016, I think, or 2017 was my last one, I'd have to start like way down the ladder.
Would you have to go like compete in a bigger contest against, kids?
Yeah, I would have to like do NORAMs and like have to hope that I win the NORAM overall to then get a World Cup spot. But I'm not going to do that after I have proved myself.
Yeah.
Like many, many years ago,
Would you see yourself getting invited? Like, do you think X Game would invite you, or then like they have too much people and?
I mean, I think they could, but I don't know if it's really what I don't know if it's really what I want to. But I would just love to end competing on like my own terms and not an injury. That's the one thing that bothers me.
But say if you get the call this year, would you go?
Yeah, I would, but then everything's so crazy now and the way it's a judge sport, like I can put everything I have into one trick and the judges could give me a 30, and then some kid that does a triple 14 mute that we've seen for 8 years would get a higher score than me. That's the one thing that.
And then something changed. I don't know if it's still the case, but it was that maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where Big Air back in the days was always about doing the best trick, whether the direction you were spinning.
Mm-hmm.
In slopestyle, there's a lot of importance related to spinning both ways and everything, whereas in Big Air, that didn't matter. And I think there was a point where, the Big Air score was getting your 2 best jumps, and then that would make your score. And it changed to you needed to have one left side spin and one right side spin. And I think that was really not for you, as you're not the guy who has the best tricks on your unnatural side.
Yeah, for sure not.
Is that still it?
No, they switched the format last year for an even weirder format, kind of.
Yeah, the overall impression.
The overall impression with no scores.
As someone who grew up on scores and as a viewer, that was horrible to look at.
Yeah, it's hard to understand for a competitor, it's hard to know what you got to do because you have no
feedback of okay, that was an 84 or a 90 or.
Yeah, for their strategy, it must have been a lot harder than usual.
On my side, what I really had in mind was it's hard to know if there's any favoritism, because someone can be bumped into first place, but you don't even know okay, well, did they get 100 or what's the behind the scenes way of looking at it?
Yeah, it would be fun to know more about that.
I'd be curious to talk about someone who was judging. You probably know who
I'm not sure who judged last year, but I don't know. The judges, sometimes they're good, most of the times they're bad.
But you've been a judge also, not in contests, but at IF3 and in film festival.
Real ski also.
Real ski.
Yeah.
What was your experience with all that experience of being a competitor and being judged and having your opinions on what you like, what you didn't like? What was it like? Let's say for a real ski.
For real ski, I really know how hard all these guys work for every single trick, and I know how much gnarlier everything is in person than on video. So I'm just trying to give respect and props to what the skiers did. But at the end of the day, it's really what catches my heart and what gets me stoked that I'm gonna give my points to.
And there's something, I guess, that's gotta be easier, or when it's at X Games, they have 30 seconds to give their score, whereas you must have had all the time you needed to
Yeah, we had
think
time.
About it.
The first year of real ski was pretty hard because we watched all the videos and had to give our top 3 in a 2 or 3 hour period. So that was really rough. And the first year was everything was new. So, but I think we did pretty good on the podium that year. Judge? What?
What year did you judge?
The first two or 3 years of real ski. First 2 years of real ski.
2016, 17.
Yeah.
So when Will Wesson won and when Magnus won?
Oh, and then when Phil won, I did it 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
The first 3 years I did. And then I retired after that.
Did you retire or did you get retired?
No, I retired. It was
Okay.
my choice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because if you want to be in the contest one day, you can't be the one judging it.
Oh,
That was
are we getting into...
I mean, it's better to have the option open than
Yeah.
fully closed. And
So we were talking about getting the call for Big Air.
yeah,
I guess if you're getting the call for real ski, that's a goal of yours?
I mean, yeah, it's good to have the option open. I would, it'd be crazy. I'm not opposed to it, but I do think that a lot more people have deserved it before me for now. So I think I have to prove myself for that.
Mm.
But I mean, the option's
Let's
open.
say you make waves for your part in your 2-year part. If you get the call next year,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you would be a great fit of having someone who looks at urban differently. Like it was really cool to see Mango
Yeah.
get a shot there because it's nice to have different types of skier.
For sure. You don't want the same profile, for
Yeah.
everyone.
There's some guys that are more classic style, let's say wallish.
Mm-hmm.
Or-
More of the switch ups, and then you got more
Yeah.
of the buttery, and
Yeah. Then you would get the 50-50 front flip.
then who knows the
Yeah.
funkiness.
So, in the years you've judged, was it stressful for you, like having that responsibility of, being the guy that makes the decision with others?
For sure, I think it brings bad karma. I would say judging people and like being.
Bad karma in general, or just if you make mistakes? Or
I think just in general, judging people is not great. I think.
But even in that context, they accept of being judged. It's kind of a consensual thing.
I know, but that's how I saw it though, because I don't know. I feel like you got to give just because you have to be so critical when you judge people that you're like, I don't know, you're not always nice to people putting all their efforts
Mhm.
and doing stuff.
Yeah.
So
And it's an emotional thing where people really put their, what's the phrase of your blood, sweat, and tears?
yeah, blood, sweat, and tears.
That's literally what happens in there.
And then you're there back door and just talking shit on the hard work. I don't know. It's bad karma doing it that way.
Yeah.
But got to give respect to everyone that puts
Yeah.
in the work.
As someone who's really critical and as a person and who really knows urban skiing and loves urban skiing, one thing that really stood out to me was each year I found that there was a clear distinction between the podium and people outside the podium. For various reasons, I was always really agreeing with the judging in general as to the podium, but then I would never be harsh on, what was the order of like who was first, second, or third, because then that's so relative. That's so, between Will and Phil and, first year Will won and JF got second.
Yeah.
But then
Third,
their
Clayton.
two parts are so different. It's,
Clayton third was really good too.
yeah.
Yeah. I voted for JF though, I'm going to say. He was my first.
Yeah, same for me. Like, he's more my type of skiing. Like, Will's part was really funky.
It was really good. But if you look back to it, then he would maybe say the same thing. If you took 2 tricks out of Will's part, he would have had an even better video because he had like 2 features where he like kind of redid the same feature with different tricks.
Yeah.
But when you judge that kind of contest, you have to be super critical over every little thing.
And then the first year, Phil won. Antti Olila was second, and his video was incredibly good.
Yeah, top 2 was easy to tell that year.
Yeah.
Phil and Antti were on a different level that
What
year.
what were your thoughts looking at, because you were judging that year?
I mean, Phil and Antti were top 2, and then third was where the debate really, first and second was like a debate for the order,
Yeah, and then
but then third place was more of a
third place was Keegan, right?
Keegan, yeah. Where it was either Keegan or LJ we were thinking about.
About the line?
Yeah, all the lines.
I think, yeah, that was a hard part because it seems like LJ just said, okay, I did such a great edit, I'm not even going to try and top it.
Mm-hmm.
And his edit was cool, but it's as if he already kind of abandoned and said, I'm not even thinking about a medal. I'm just thinking about doing a great video. And then on Keegan's side, it was the skiing was insane. But then the filming part was kind of lacking.
That's why it was rough. It was like judging like apples and oranges, two different types of videos. And I don't know, we went with the more gnarlier tricks.
Yeah, I think Keegan. You made the right choice, especially considering that the way they present it is that filming has importance, but it's really like 10%.
Yeah, 10% or so.
So,
and I think 40% is first impression. So first impression is really what matters the most in the end.
Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts this year on the edits?
It was really good, super good. Like Mango's a magician. I don't know how he does it. Like the control he has with his skis. Like him and Phil are top two probably in ski controlness gods of skiing. And then Hackle has a really nice vision of looking at spots and doing his own thing. And I gotta give him props for that because it's hard to have a vision and make it true. You know, it's way harder than it looks like. And Emil just went huge and deserved the second place that he got because of that.
Yeah.
Because scaring yourself is fucking scary.
Yeah, he took a lot of risks.
Yeah.
It's my perspective, seeing it as an outsider, was that Hackle didn't get necessarily as much points because he did more small features, or like, you know, Mango went down 100-foot dam.
Mm-hmm.
And Emil pretty much each one of his spots were, you know, could go wrong.
Yeah. Danger for sure.
And, you know, same thing as I said before, to me it was clear that these three were the podium. Yeah. And then even, you know, on my side at home trying to say who would I choose as a winner? I couldn't decide. I loved the three. They were all different, but
yeah, it's a toss up for sure.
Yeah.
It's all I don't know, personal preferences. Yeah.
Do you agree with that podium? Like on your personal, Vincent?
I mean, the order could be different. I would say that Mango would still be first, and then you could switch Emil and Hackle if you want. But I think Mango just did a lot of new stuff, and you gotta respect that and give him props for pushing the boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah, because he did a lot of big stuff, but also, again, stuff that's never been done before.
And some what the fuck, WTF stuff.
I
mean, they all did, but I think Mango maybe an extra level.
What's your biggest WTF from his edit?
Yeah, probably like the fakey flare thing, Tell Butter. That one's fucked. And then, dude, I would have to watch it again though. But he's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it was that switch butter.
Yeah.
Of pressing your skis. When you see the guys pressing their skis like that, it always seems easy, but anyone who's tried it knows that it's incredibly hard.
Full commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure their skis help a shit ton because they're pretty soft and flexy, but it's still takes a lot of touch to do all those maneuvers.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think about personally. Are you like tightening your boots up to 100 when you're trying these tricks, or it's just like the skis being kind of, or is it more the position of your body, like really like leaning? It looks like a science.
Yeah, for sure science, but you for sure need to lean with your body weight because that's what's going to make the ski flex the most. But like I haven't skied with one of those skis ever, so I can't talk from personal experiences.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the ski helps. There's no doubt that the ski helps.
You've been on Salmon your whole life, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been with them?
16 years. 16, 17.
That's crazy.
I got my first skis when I was 10. So, yeah, 16 or 17 years.
So, that's a long relationship to have with a sponsor.
Yeah, pretty long.
You got with Salomon. What year did you get with Salomon?
04, I got my first skis. Summer 04, I think. Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, I was 10.
Damn.
I was about to turn 11. And then when I was 11, I was full on Salomon. And Spy Optic also. Spy was my first sponsor before that.
Sick.
Yeah, all thanks to Charles, though, because he was for sure
it
the
helps
guy
when
who
you're...
opened all the doors for me.
Yeah. Well, on one side, it helps, but on the other, you always deserved it. Like it wasn't as if you were, an average skier.
But I for sure had it easier.
Yeah.
But I know.
Well, it's like when you saw, no hate at all on them because they've all turned out to be extremely good skiers. But the Wells brothers, when they had their series, the
Winter of Wells.
Yeah, the kids were really young and they were all on this. It was because of Jossie, but then you can't blame them. It's good for them.
Yeah, I mean Jossie funded a lot of stuff for his family. He's a real G. Like paid for his whole family to travel with him in the wintertime and all that. Like he sacrificed a lot for his family, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. So with Salomon, how has your relationship evolved through the years? Because they've had a lot of change in branding. They've dropped what used to be the Salomon team 10 years ago versus now is not the same. Yeah. And you're one of the few guys that really stuck with them or that, kept the relationship going. How was it like going through that?
I mean, it's different. There's for sure changing orientations of where the brand was before, where I started. And it's for sure more of the free ride, touring, and all that stuff now, which makes sense because that's where people buy new gear every year and all that. But for me, it's for sure not what's most accessible for every type of skier.
Because it fits with your skiing because you're an all-around skier. Mm-hmm. So you're going to do some POW and stuff, but you're a park skier at heart.
I mean, what gets me going are tricks, tricks and grabs and style. But like, for me, watching a backflip doesn't really do anything to me. Or seeing a guy do a 360 with no grab, it doesn't really do anything to me.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see more of that in the future.
Yeah.
But I mean, Salomon, they made a choice with their brand, and I think they're killing it. They're the one brand in skiing that probably put the most in the sport, and things have changed. But they did so much good for skiing that you can't say too much bad things about them.
Yeah, exactly. One plus, they still support a ton of great projects. Like, let's say if there was a big hype about web series for a while, and some have come, some have gone, but they've stuck with it with Salomon Free Ski TV, and they've invested a lot into making great projects. They didn't half-ass it.
No, and going on those trips, I haven't gone on one of those trips in some time now, but when you go, it's like everything's taken care of, plane tickets, food, everything. It's all on their arm. And
yeah, you've been in a lot of those. Thinking about it, you've done a lot of Salomon Free Ski TV episodes, right?
Couple. I went to Chile one summer with them, and then China also. Those are like the two big trips that I did with them that I can remember.
How was China?
Weird. I don't know. It was really weird. We were there for like a week and only skied 3 days, I think. Once we skied at the ski resort near Beijing that's like an hour away, and that was pretty fun. They had a little park, so that was tight. But then we took like a plane up north, like super close to the North Korean border, where they like built this new ski resort over there. Within like 2 or 3 years, they like built a whole ski resort from nothing, and there was like nothing to do there, so we just skied there.
Like skied
stayed there.
Rumors.
Yeah, and the resort was like maybe big, like Stoneham, maybe. It was like super, not big.
Like what is it?
And
like
just like had
400 meters?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, like 300 to 400 meter vertical. Yeah. And like with new chairlifts and gondolas and everything. So it was really weird of being there.
Is that where like the next Olympics are in China, right?
I don't think so.
That's not where they're hosting it?
No, this ski resort I went to was like, they're trying to make it the new Whistler. That was like their main goal with
the
that
Asian
place.
Whistler?
The Chinese Whistler.
Damn.
Yeah.
Talking about China, is that we were talking about competitions, and you're not really into going back to NORAMs and making way for yourself. So I guess you're not going in and trying to make a run for it for 2022.
No, I'm not planning on it. But if, let's say, no contest happened this year because of the COVID, and then next year they have to do like a super big qualifier for everyone, then who knows?
That would be great.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to see you go there. It's kind of, for a lot of people that didn't grow up on these contests, it's like not that big of a deal to not go because it wasn't the goal in the first place. But I would find it kind of a shame to have Big Air and not see you there.
Yeah. I mean, it's out of my control though.
Yeah.
If it's all because of the fist points and all that, because I do think if I was on the national team and I could travel and ski like where they all go and hit perfect jumps, then that would be easy for me. I'm sure I can compete with all them. Yeah. Because that's what I've always competed against, all those guys. For sure the level's crazier now, but they don't have what I got.
Yeah. Let's say that you still had fist points and you were still on the team. Would you want to make a push for 2022?
I would. Yeah, I would. But I don't got the points.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lose my time doing NORAMs when I can do something that I'm really passionate about and work on my video part.
Yeah.
But I would love it, but fuck FIS. You guys screwed it up for so many of us.
Yeah. Well, it's cool because you still have, like you said, you've already proven yourself, but it's cool because on the flip side, on the filming side, well, you get to not prove yourself, but use the brand that you've built and get some attention there.
Yeah.
I think I heard something, I wanted to talk about it with you. That is it possible that to be in the Big Air at the Olympics you need to be a slopestyle competitor also?
Yeah, I think so. You have to, I think, because there's certain quotas, I guess. Because for like all the freestyle events, I'm not sure exactly how many spots they got, but let's say they have 16 spots for all the freestyle ski disciplines. Then they're gonna take like one spot will count for slopestyle and Big Air. It won't be like calculated as two different spots. So I think that's why they do it that way.
It's kind of weird because every freestyle sport is kind of separated. Mm-hmm. You won't see a Big Air. You won't see a mogul skier do aerials, and that applies for everything. But then, for slopestyle and Big Air, those fit. It's kind of an odd thing because a lot of guys that have had success in Big Air are not really, like yourself, you had a lot of success in Big Air, but not slopestyle. Mm-hmm. Same thing for Kai Mahler, who, there's a lot of guys that, it's kind of really a discipline of its own.
I mean, it's not the same, for sure not the same atmosphere at a Big Air or slopestyle. You gotta, I don't know, it sucks that you have to qualify through the slopestyle, which makes sense, I guess, but if they really wanted to have the best of the best, they wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah. In what way do you think it makes sense?
Just less travel cost and all that, just logistics. I would say.
Comes down to money.
Yeah, it's money,
Yeah. I know we've talked about your knees a bit. How's the overall health on your side? How are you feeling going into COVID the help of staying injury free?
Body feels good. I mean, my back still bothers me every now and then, but the knees are good.
Tell me the story about your back.
Broke my back in 2014, in late April 2014. Nearly paralyzed myself, but I didn't. My legs came back to life about 15 minutes or so after they stopped working.
Really?
And then, yeah. And then
what
it
was your
the battle of a lifetime after that.
What was the 15 minutes like?
That was the worst. The darkest moment.
Yeah,
ever.
I imagine.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. Trust me.
So it was just 15 minutes where you were on the ground and...
15 minutes or so I was on the ground, and then the ski patrols, they brought me to the patrol area, took my ski boots off, and then I could move my toes, and that was that's where everything like kind of switched for me, and I was so stoked. I knew that there was a way of coming back.
So you were able to move your toes. Okay.
I was able to move my toes, but then that's not moving your legs, you know.
Yeah.
Still a long way before moving the legs and being able to walk and all that.
How long did that take?
Like walk like
Yeah.
walk
Like what was the rehab
person.
like?
I mean, I like got surgery, like emergency surgery there in Idaho Falls. And I think I stood up my hospital bed like the first day after the surgery, and I almost puked, vomited from the effort that it took me to stand up on my own feet. And then day after day, I would just walk like an extra 10 feet or 20 feet, just like baby steps, really. That really taught me how to be patient and trust the process and believe in yourself. And that's what I did.
You telling me that now brings me back to when we talk about your knee, and that probably helped a lot, seeing like having that type of injury, and then when it's a knee, you probably kind of have more perspective and can,
I mean, the back was more like about my life, because my life could have changed. Like
then
like
it's only
that.
your career.
And then
it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's still, my life is still skiing, but it's not on the same level. Like it wouldn't be a tragedy to blow your knee instead of breaking your back and being paralyzed. And that's what I dodged a bullet.
Because looking at you now, you don't seem to, you seem 99% okay. Like maybe there's some, do you have still some
discomfort?
Yeah.
Like let's see if I can crack my back now.
Yeah, I heard something.
You heard it? Yeah. It pops, but it works. I just
do you have any pain?
Smart.
Do you have any pain?
A lot of discomfort for like random things, like cooking, just standing up without walking, or sitting on a chair with no backrest is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Just weird stuff. But then like skiing, since I'm like always moving and movement, it really doesn't bother me too much.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No pain when you're landing?
No pain when I'm landing.
That's cool.
It's more a day after a long day skiing for sure. I get crazy sore, but...
Yeah, do you have pain in your knees when you land?
I mean, it can happen for sure, but usually take 5 to 10 minutes and starts to feel better again.
Yeah. Well, that was my question is like, was it similar in terms of soreness and...
I mean, knees are way trickier to get a feel for them, just because it's ligaments. You're not you're in control, but you're not in full control.
And how did the back accident happen?
Just on a park rail. Just had fresh skis or close to new skis, and I caught an edge on a rail and sent me into half a flip, landed straight on my back on some ice. The rail was pretty high, so it was a pretty big impact. And I knew straight away that I was hurt, but I didn't know how bad, but I knew I was hurt.
That's crazy.
What's crazy is that I had a back protector on, and without that back protector, things would be way different right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So are you skiing with one now always?
Always.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, pretty much always.
That's crazy, because the accident that you described is something that can happen to anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've seen what you're describing, I've seen people have that in a normal park,
Oh, yeah.
But then no one really uses back protectors.
A lot of people do.
Yeah. Maybe in pro athletes, but
Yeah, I think it's as important or more than a helmet, because the chances of you landing on your back are higher than you landing on your head.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like every kid should have a back protector, because things can change so quick. It's crazy.
Because we have a lot of emphasis put on concussions and head injury, but yeah, you're right. I've seen a lot of people fall on their back and being lucky, I guess, because they're only sore and they take the day off. But
I mean, it only takes you to fall one certain way, and things can break pretty bad.
Yeah. You've talked a lot about confidence, if your head's right, you're going to be good, like you were talking about at X Games, per se. Did that change how you approach a rail? Because you got that on the normal rail, you said?
Yeah.
then does it change your mindset when you're just skiing in general, or
You just got to be focused all the time.
pay more attention?
Pay more attention. Don't take anything for granted. And just be ready for anything.
Yeah.
Because things can happen so quick.
Like at first, were you scared? Kind of, the expression of like getting back on your horse.
I mean, I had
How were the first months like when you got back?
The first 2 weeks, or first week was weird because I had no idea how everything was going to come back. But everything came back like pretty fast, which was super surprising. But when I knew that I would be okay is when my first crash that I landed on my back and I stood up after, and then I knew that I was going to be okay after that.
That's great.
Yeah. It was scary at first, but I'm happy that I stood up after.
It's not.
I think my back is stronger than it was just because I got metal rods and screws and all that.
Are you doing some
in there.
special training like to reinforce it? Like, do you work on it?
I have. I should probably do it more, but I care more about my lower body. The knees are a bit more important right now.
Yeah. How's your summer, or how's your routine been about going to the gym? Like, I've talked to Phil, Alexi, Alex. They all put time in the gym of like, they were all telling me the same thing on or off the podcast. I don't remember, but I'm saying like, we're getting older. We got to be smart about the body. Like, what's your routine like for that?
For me, I usually wake up at 6:45, 7 in the morning, drink a coffee, and then around 8 a.m. I start working out at home. I got like everything I need for a home gym, so do that for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
So you're really into it. Like,
I mean, kind of. I don't like it.
Yeah, but you do what you got to do.
I do it, and then I try to stretch too, like for 45 minutes or so later in the afternoon, trying to get some flexibility back. But it's a process. It takes a lot of time and dedication. But you got to do what you got to do to keep going.
Yeah, it's a great investment, let's say.
Yeah. And it's not like I'm super busy, I'm not skiing right now.
Yeah.
So
if you look at it that way, it's like it's kind of part of the job.
Yeah, and I don't do the workouts in the winter months too because I give it all on the skis and have no energy after skiing.
Then skiing is basically the workout. If you're skiing intensely, it's a big workout.
Yeah, and if you're hiking jumps in the backcountry, boot packing, like holy, that gets you going.
Well, was that what you were doing? More boot packing than sledding?
Yeah, we did a lot of boot packing last year in the Little Cottonwood Canyon. Where a bunch of Utah spots are.
I have a noob question. What makes the difference between boot packing or sledding? Is it only the terrain? Like, what makes you do one or the other? Or is it just
for there? It was the terrain that we wanted to hit, but you get for sure way more done with sleds. But then it all depends. If you go further in the backcountry, then the snow can be sketchier. And I just try to surround myself with people who know more about all that than myself. So
yeah,
I trust them. But for me, it's my main goal is building jumps and try to do tricks on them.
Yeah, more of a trick, booter trick emphasis than lines, let's say. Or
yeah, lines are not what... They don't excite me too much. I know it's crazy. It's nuts.
Not your cup of tea.
But I don't want to mess around with that. It's just... I don't want to go outside my elements. That'd be stupid.
Yeah. And as we said, just doing backcountry booters will be cool enough because we haven't seen you done it.
And we don't see many people do them too now.
Yeah.
It's a lost art almost.
Wallish kept doing some with Good Company.
Then CeeLo and Parker, for sure, they always put some good stuff out.
Yeah.
But there's a lot less people building jumps and getting in the backcountry than, let's say, 10 years ago.
I'm really looking forward to see what you do on the backcountry jumps because I think it has the potential to do some great shots.
Well, thank you. I really want to put something sick out there. That's what I'm working hard on.
Yeah.
I have something complete with half street, half backcountry jumps, and put the best stuff that I've put out ever.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think those are really I'm biased because I love those type of segments, but I feel like those really stand the test of time because they reach everyone, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. Hope the season goes well for you.
Yeah.
Hope you get the segments of your dreams
For sure.
And yeah, talk again soon for another episode. I hope.
Part 2 in the future. Let's go. Peace.
So here it is, episode 3 out of the way. I want to thank Vincent for coming on the podcast and chatting with me. Also, big shout out to Access Board Shop and Treefort Lifestyle for supporting it once again. And I also want to give a shout out to the IF3 Festival, who is hosting a series of video competitions this winter in Ski Saint-Bruno, in Ski Belle-Neige, Massif du Sud, and Mount Sutton in Quebec. If you're around, go check it out. They have a lot of cool prizes, and it's a cool video competition that they're putting together. Peace out.